Hey guys, it's the Nerdy Movie Guy. So today I'm going to talk about Ahsoka Episode 7. So there's kind of a lot going on here. I honestly thought that the pacing was a little awkward. It felt like there was kind of a lot going on, but then they went back to a different story, but then didn't conclude the other one. It honestly just felt like one of the messiest episodes of the season, but that's my opinion, and I'm going to break it down for you guys, so you guys can let me know what you think. So kind of toward the beginning of the episode, we see that Hera is kind of now on trial for doing rebel stuff, which they've been doing for years. So all of a sudden, why she's on trial, I don't know. I guess it's just rules. But so now we see she's on trial. She's on Coruscant, and immediately when it shows Coruscant, I begin to be worried. Just because I don't remember if it was Mando Season 2 or 3. I think it was Mando Season 3. When we had this whole episode on Coruscant. Which was interesting at first for the first 5 minutes, maybe even 10 minutes. But after 30 minutes, 45 minutes, I was lost. I was not invested. And I did not want this to happen in Ahsoka. Thank God it only lasted about... It was like a 10-minute scene. And it actually... They utilized this for cameos, for story progression, and I thought they used it well. Got to see a character from Star Wars Resistance make his brief cameo, like before. Carson Teva returns. We see C-3PO, which was pretty cool. They vaguely referenced Princess Leia. So there's kind of a lot of neat, fun cameos in this scene. And the fact that it was pretty short... I was okay with it. I didn't feel like it took time away from the episode. So that part was actually kind of cool. When it was over, when I could breathe again, when I wasn't worried that this was going to last an hour, I could actually enjoy it. And so moving on to the rest of the episode, this was one of those things where I felt like Ahsoka was just kind of sidelined. She didn't really get to do a whole lot. And Thrawn does even less. This felt like the Rebels Thrawn that I was worried about. He kind of has these strange tactics where he wants to go after Ahsoka, but then doesn't, then uses her, but then doesn't follow through, and then he finds his target and sends 2 TIE fighters after essentially Jedi, and it's just, his tactics are meant to be, menacing, but they just come off as confusing. I don't know why he does what he does. If he's only worried about leaving, first of all, I don't know why he cares about where they are, what they do. And second of all, if he's talking about he only has such minimal resources and troopers left, why is he sending the last little bit of troopers out? Why don't let those troopers defend his only defendable position? And realistically, his last chance of leaving. So I was just confused by Thrawn's moves in this episode. There was kind of some neat stuff, kind of toward the end when he's realizing, with the battle, he realizes that Balin isn't there because of those droids that are essentially cameras overlooking the battlefield. I thought that was kind of cool. I thought it was kind of neat. I think there's a lot of opportunity with this droid there, whether or not they make a remote control version for us to have a physical version of it, or they use it again, or they use it for training purposes. I don't know. I thought the droid was cool. I've kind of always been a fan of the droids with their unique designs, and this one had a unique purpose, and I appreciated having something new. So that was pretty cool to see. As far as the whole Thrawn versus Ahsoka, there wasn't really a lot of substance. It was just a lot of cat and mouse, and there's really no follow-through with the action or banter between them. There wasn't really anything like that there. The one thing I thought was kind of neat is when he realizes she's the apprentice of Anakin Skywalker, Thrawn doesn't seem scared, but he seems a little worried. Because in the new canon, the Thrawn books, I haven't read all of them, but I know that Thrawn worked alongside Anakin Skywalker during the Clone Wars, so he kind of got to see how strong of a general and a Jedi that Anakin Skywalker really was. So for him to have a little bit of fear almost, realizing Ahsoka is connected to him, that was kind of cool to see. So in my opinion, what I'd like to see in the future is if he's scared of Ahsoka because she's an Anakin apprentice, he should be afraid of Luke Skywalker. This is if we get to see him, which I really hope so. I kind of read this from another fan's thoughts recently that I thought was pretty interesting. Is we see Moff Gideon was afraid of a single TIE fighter because he could tell it's Luke Skywalker. And this guy's opinion, basically, he stated that an interesting fan theory is, as far as Imperials are concerned, when the second Death Star was under attack, they see Luke goes into a room with Vader and the Emperor, and Luke is the only one to come out of that room. So, if the Imperial then became Remnant Imperials, spread the word, it really makes sense that they would be afraid of Luke Skywalker. And for Thrawn being on this other planet for years, kind of through the original trilogy timeline, he's going to have some people telling him, when he gets back, I hope, when he's looking for other Imperials, asking what happened to the Empire, they're going to tell him, I would hope, Luke Skywalker defeated the leadership and essentially crippled the Empire in its entirety. So to see this, I thought was pretty cool. I hope this connects his fear to Luke. I hope Luke Skywalker has some involvement later. I don't know. I really hope so, but I'm hopefully optimistic right now. So that part was cool in the episode. When we get to see the fight, Baylan gets another fight with Ahsoka, and again, Baylan has a pretty neat choreography. I don't think it's as good as Hayden Christensen's Anakin Skywalker, just because we had just seen him 2 episodes prior. But his fight is still kind of cool to see. His fight with Ahsoka is shorter. They're cutting in and out during the fight. So it was kind of cool to see. It was just kind of this nice little fight. There wasn't really a lot to it. And, of course, Ahsoka gets away. And it kind of just more establishes Baylan's mystery. Because you can tell he was kind of glad Ahsoka survived when he thought she had died. And he doesn't want to see her killed. And we don't know why he kind of doesn't want the Jedi to die. He wants them to survive, but he doesn't have a problem fighting to the death if he has to. So this has kind of built Baylan's mystery to me that I found fascinating. I've been fully invested with this character from the start, and I can't wait to see where this goes with Baylan. We get to see Shin fighting again, fighting Sabine. This was another example, at least in the first fight, when Ezra and his new friends have, kind of that dome when the Empire is fighting. I don't know why Sabine uses her blaster against Imperials when she has a lightsaber. She eventually did. I just don't know why it has to be oh yeah, I have a lightsaber. I don't know why that's a factor, but it is, and I'll get over it. But I love the fact that Ezra didn't want the lightsaber, that he just relied on the Force, and we don't see this in Star Wars very often. But to see a Jedi fight someone with another lightsaber without having one themselves, it was just, I don't know, it felt like a unique experience, and it felt like Ezra, this kind of sarcastic, not sarcastic really, but this attitude that, if he's gonna fail, it's gonna be on his own terms. And he didn't want Sabine's lightsaber. He wants to fight with the Force, and that's what he chose to do. And clearly, he's had a stronger connection with the Force. He hasn't had a lightsaber to train with. But during this fight, it makes it abundantly clear that his connection with the Force has only gotten stronger. And he may not have a holocron to train, but through legends with Obi-Wan and Tatooine, we've had examples in the past where a Jedi doesn't have anything to study or any physical, tangible form of learning, but they can still learn through the Force, connecting to the Force, speaking to and through the Force. So I feel that's the case here with Ezra Bridger, is he's clearly had a stronger connection and has just become a little bit more powerful. We don't know by how much. They played it safe, they played it smart, not having Ezra fight Baylan, because I think it would have kind of divided the fan base a little bit. I think Ezra has a lot of fans, but there's a lot of original trilogy fans and a lot of really lightsaber form nitpickers that would prefer Baylan to win. When at this point, if Baylan had fought Ezra, not being the finale yet, it wouldn't have made sense for either one to be defeated. It just would have felt too early. So this one, this few times, even though they played it safe, I think they played it smart, having Shin be the one there to fight. And then, of course, with Sabine and Ezra and Ahsoka teamed up again for the first time, Shin backs off, and it was expected, and Ahsoka kind of tells Shin, she's asking her, hey, join us. And Shin's not going to. But to see that Ahsoka, I feel like that kind of gives her more character development, whereas previously facing Anakin or facing Vader in Rebels, she's not a Jedi. She doesn't claim to be one, and she already knows, people's decisions. She fought Vader in Rebels, knew he wasn't going to be a Jedi. That's that. And then in Ahsoka, when we see her come face to face with Anakin, she's kind of realized that. She expects him to be the Vader that she now remembered him to be. So to reach out to Shin kind of, in my opinion, showed that she's kind of grown as a character, grown as a Jedi. Extending her hand, giving her a second chance, even though she didn't take it. So I thought that was pretty interesting. It was some actual character development with her. And they kind of chase, they're trying to go after Thrawn, but we don't see them really catch up with him, not in this episode, and it kind of leaves off kind of suddenly. It ends a little sudden, in my opinion. I thought we were going to get some stronger dialogue or scenes from Thrawn announcing, they're ready to go, his need to dominate the galaxy. But there really wasn't much there in the end. It kind of just ended with, a happy reunion. And as fans, we are glad they're back together, but this is also supposed to be a hyped up show where there is a clear purpose. We knew from the start. Everyone's afraid of Thrawn coming back, and it kind of feels like that's the whole purpose of the show is for Thrawn to come back. So to be 7 episodes in that hasn't happened, it's clear that I think that'll happen at the end of the next episode. Which is a little disappointing. I thought the show was going to be Thrawn coming back probably in the premiere, and then having a show fearing Thrawn where some of the rebels kind of have to fight him, and then the New Republic as a whole would have to go against Thrawn. But that's not what happened, and that's okay. We got something different, and I'm glad we got something different. So it gave us episode 5. That was a really unique, authentic, original takeaway from the series. So with that being said, going into the next episode, I think there is a lot to cover. There's the rebels, what they're going to do about Thrawn. We don't know if anyone is going to train Jason Syndulla. We don't know if Ezra's going to get another lightsaber. We don't know if they're going to stop Morgan Elsbeth or Thrawn or now Enoch, whoever he is. So there's a lot to happen in episode 8, and I hope they really dive into their substance and kind of just utilize everything they have and make it a really grand finale. But I don't know, guys. I hope that's the case. It just feels like with these episodes taking the safer route, I feel like we'll probably end up getting a kind of a cliffhanger for the next episode without any real closure. But we'll see what happens, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see what happens with the next episode.